What do you call two dark elves that just aren't the brightest? Dun and Dunmer. What's going on, YouTube? We've got the Ouroboros shirt on here to break down the ESO New Life event from where you should be doing it as a new player. We've got ourselves an adorable little side host to break down all this information, and if she doesn't earn a like and subscription on this video, then what will? But let's break down the ESO New Life event and all the things that you should be doing during this event. First thing that you need to know is if you pick up the Crown Store quest, it's just going to take you right over here inside of East March. You don't have to pick up the free Crown Store mission. It's just going to navigate you over here, and then what you'll be able to do is a daily quest. Now, these daily quests are very straightforward. You're going to do a whole bunch of very festive activities. We'll break down those in a bit, but the main component is that you want to at least be doing one of those per day. The reason why you want to talk to her, standing about right here-ish, doing one of those quests once per day, is that's how you get your 3 event tickets. This primary event is the best for event tickets, and you're going to be able to cap off and get the 5 companions home, which looks absolutely beautiful. So I would highly consider that being your main focus, is just getting those event tickets. But there's a couple other things in this event that are also going to be good. I also want to inform you guys, though, that you can go over your 20 out of 20 for your golden pursuits. A lot of people were worried that you couldn't because sometimes Seals of Endeavors, you're not able to. You do one weekly, you don't do all the weeklies, for example. And this was one of those ones where people were like, well, if I've already done 20 other golden pursuit things, then I'm not going to be able to get items such as this sword. I'm here to tell you, you'll still be able to get those event items regardless. And you'll still be able to earn these items, and they're relatively straightforward. Earn 10 event tickets. That's just doing 4 of the daily missions. You've got the whole time period to do that over the New Life event. And if you're curious how much time exactly you'll have from December 19th, which is this Thursday, all the way until January 7th. That resets at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So a quick tip here is that if you have time to log in early January 7th from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m., do one of those bad boy quests, you'll still actually be able to get 3 additional event tickets actually for the day of the event ending, which is always a good tip, the extra event tickets for you. Now, I hear you wondering, Jake, what are the big key marquee things about this event? Well, kind of really hit upon the big one. That is your 3 event tickets. You'll be able to do one of these 10 quests per day. You can actually do all 10 if you would choose to on a character. They're each thematic to how different races celebrate the holidays, which is very cool. But I do want to highlight that as we look at the rewards here, your New Life reward boxes are not going to give you anything that I would define as essential. And what I mean by that is that I always like to look at what is the biggest thing to do during an event, right? So you're going to try to get rare resources, rare items, rare things. For example, the Halloween event has the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, which is one of the marquee foods for you to use on your character. The New Life event is much more focused on getting some cool costumes and outfit styles. They're not really worth a crazy amount of money, which is neat because, nobody wants to stress okay, it's the holiday period, now I have to go farm on ESO to get these OP rewards. It's a little bit more laid back, but the nice thing about the New Life event is it does come with double XP. But if you do one of those daily quests, you will get reward boxes, and you will be able to roll for these items here. Now, I will tell you, pretty much all these items here are relatively cheap on the ESO open market, so you don't really need to stress about doing 10, daily quests on as many characters or accounts as you have. I think the key is going to be just doing once per day, 3 event tickets that'll also give you a golden reward box, which will give you tons of this stuff anyhow. And then if you really want some of these things, such as the Nordic Bather's Towel, which I will admit does look pretty cool, you could just get that separately by purchasing it in the ESO open market if you don't get it with your golden reward box that you get once per day. Something that I would also encourage you to do is do the newly charitable achievement, because you will get this Crystal Frost skin. It is super easy, barely an inconvenience. All you need to do is 12 New Life charity or Imperial writs or Deep Winter charity writs. Super easy. And you can actually do these, I believe, actually at any point in the year. So even if the event ends and people are still listing up a bunch of those cheap writs, which are probably 1,000 to 3,000 gold, and it's going to be ooh, craft a pillow. And then you can buy the recipe for that pillow and more and hold for 1,000 gold. It'll be very easy for you, you don't have to worry about it, but it'll give you access to a skin. A lot of this other stuff, a bonfire, robe, those things are cool, but I wouldn't say is necessarily essential. If you're a new player, holiday period, or even a returning or endgame player, you're probably thinking to yourself, all right, what's the best things for me to do specifically in this event? And quickly, the final thing that you can use your event tickets on, because you're going to get 60, is you can use them to get some Indrakes. Now, the Indrakes will be featured are the Frost one and the Rosenthorn Indrake, which is always neat, and you'll also be able to get the pet non-combat version of them as well. So people love Indrake mounts. They'll be able to get them as well during this event. And if you'd like to see what those Indrakes look like, they're just actually over here inside of Craglorn, and during the actual event, you'll be able to purchase them with your event tickets from a vendor that will be standing right here. So what then, you might be thinking? Well, it's 100% XP event, so anything that you do for experience is going to be doubled. Now, for those of you who don't know how experience works, or if you're returning, you used to have to drink like a little coffee thing, and then it would be like, boosh, here's your double XP. Now it's 100% passive, because that was kind of confusing to new players why you had to come and drink a memento to get access to 100% XP. So now it's completely passive. Don't have to worry about that. And it stacks with any XP bonus that you can stack on it, whether or not you're married, whether or not you have XP gear, whether or not you have XP scrolls, or you're using the player version of XP scrolls with your Sigic Ambrosias. All of those will stack together, and therefore this event generally boils down to a XP farming event. Whether or not you want to level up a character from 10 to 50 to get them, from your low-level characters that can't do content, like PvP, all the way up into a CP character, whether you're a low CP and you want to get to a higher CP, pretty much, I think DPS, or your ability to get any returns on your CP, stops around 1200 CP. So if you're not 1200 CP, it's a good time to go out and get some experience. And there's a couple good ways that you can do so. We'll highlight those here, but I also will just generally link my XP video below, because I don't want to go over all the nitty gritty pieces like, go down to this place and this place. We're going to hit the key highlights, but there's tons of extra ones in that video below. If you've ever walked into the Alakir Desert, it is the most common one to do. The Alakir Desert is exceptionally popular because the dolmens are very close to the way shrines. They are always in a clockwork order, so people will type in LFDG in chat, get into a dolmen group, and then farm dolmens throughout the entire time period. The nice thing about this is it's easy, it's relatively straightforward. You can turn your brain off, your group members will help kill stuff for you. You get XP with XP gear decently, but you have to remember too that the completion of the anchors, it does not stack off training gear. It will stack off everything else. But if you're using training gear, there are a couple better places that I would suggest that you go. Because the best XP per hour is actually farming the second round of Black Rose Prison on repeat. I do a full video breakdown on this again in that video linked below. But the key highlights is that when the shield bearer walks out, you just let him kill you. Keep refarming the second round over and over and over again. You probably are going to want to at least have a companion to do this with, or having a second player. You don't have to be super high level to do this, but it is a pretty annoying place if you're kind of lower level or you don't have decent sets on, so just keep that in mind. But overall, this is the best XP per hour unless you're doing some crazy bulk grits. And if you don't have access to a Black Rose Prison, because it is a DLC area, I believe it might have been given away for free during the 10-year celebration event, but I'm not 100% certain. So let's just pretend that you may not have it. Skyreach Catacombs inside of Craglorn is the easiest place to go to. I will warn you also, don't go to this way shrine to get to it. Go to this way shrine to get to it, because you want to go across this area here, even though there's a gigantic chasm. If you try to teleport here, you got to go like all the way around. Very painful. They decided to put all these mountains in this zone to make it lore accurate. Gross. But Skyreach Catacombs is very similar to Black Rose Prison, but the nice thing is it's an instant. So basically, you go kill everything in there, you turn your group stuff, and then you can flip yourself from normal to veteran as you leave the dungeon, and you can kind of flip it from there. Again, we do a full breakdown of where you should stop, but the nice thing is that a lot of other XP areas like the zombie farms in Alakir Desert, or if too many people are farming the dolmens in Alakir, people will go to Deshaun. There's no competition in either Black Rose or Skyreach Catacombs, making it two of the best XP spots. Also, if you're new to the game and you're like, oh, Jake, this is so much information, go to the Alakir Desert and just make sure you have on the skills that you want to level up. For example, let's say you're a sorcerer right now and you want to make sure that you're leveling up all your sorcerer stuff. You want to make sure that you got a good combination of all the skills that you want to level on your skill bar. Majority of skills will level based on how many of those skills are on the skill bar. That includes your class stuff, includes your weapon stuff, and your armor. You want to make sure you're wearing a couple pieces of all the armor, because most sets and builds will require you to have at least 1 or 2 pieces of each armor type. Even if you're a heavy armor person, a medium or light armor person, you want to level all those bad boys up. So have at least 2 pieces of every armor type on, and you will be hunky-dory. And then don't worry about the world or guild lines. Those do not level up based on how many of them are on your skill bar. Same with alliance or crafting or any of those other ones. Don't focus on those ones. Just worry about the ones at the top. And as we wrap up here, I just want to note that tomorrow is going to be a double header for videos. We're going to have our Tuesday vendor review, but we're also going to be highlighting the ZeniMax letter from the studio directly that will highlight and recap this year, kind of give some information where we are going forwards next year. And then we'll also have our traditional Tuesday vendor review. So 2 videos. And just thank you guys, because I actually have had more views this month than any other month ever, which is crazy because usually December is not the best for views just because it's, a little bit less content coming out. There's no big marquee update. We've already had our BG update. We had our Gold Road update. We had our teasers usually January. So those were, usually when the views are centered. So this being the biggest viewed month it's just incredible. So thank you guys for that. And as always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you need to do to enter is leave comments below. Second thing is just make sure you subscribe/follow on Twitch and Twitter. And the third thing is look for a hidden word be flashed upon the screen. If you're the first person to find and comment that word, you will win. Thank you guys so much again. We'll see you twice tomorrow, and I'll catch you then. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.